No one saw her. No one remembered her name. But on that scorching afternoon, under the blazing sun of Aurora City, she became the only hope for a man who thought he didn't need anyone. A black luxury Maserati stood on the side of a deserted road, hood open, engine smoking like a dying beast. Inside, Thomas Weber, a powerful millionaire and CEO, slammed his hand against the steering wheel. His watch, platinum and worth more than most people's cars, read 11:43. In 17 minutes, he was supposed to present the most important project of his career. He cursed under his breath, stepping out in a $3,000 suit, sweat soaking through silk, frustration clouding his face. The irony was cruel. The man who controlled an empire couldn't control a broken car. That S when he heard it, the low hum of an old pickup truck pulling up behind him. Out stepped a woman. Dark skin glowing under the sun, grease-stained jeans, plaid shirt sleeves rolled up, eyes calm and confident. "Need some help?" she asked, voice steady. Thomas barely glanced at her. "My assistant should be sending help. But there's no signal out here." Without replying, she leaned over the smoking engine, assessing it with the precision of someone who'd seen worse. "It's the cooling system," she said flatly. "I can patch it. You'll make it to the city, but it won't last long." Thomas frowned, his tone skeptical. "Are you sure?" "I'm a mechanic," she replied, meeting his gaze. "I have a shop 10 miles up the road." She returned to her truck, grabbed her tools, and began working with quiet confidence. Each motion was sharp, efficient, the kind of grace that comes from years of repetition, not privilege. Thomas watched, both irritated and intrigued. "How do you know so much about cars like this? Working out here?" She paused, wiping sweat from her brow. "I read, I study, I care about my work. Excellence isn't exclusive to big cities, Mr. Weber." He froze. "You know who I am?" "Your face is in every business paper," she said casually. Then, closing the hood, "There, you're good to go." Thomas exhaled in relief. "I owe you one," he said, pulling out a wad of cash. "Please, take this." As she reached out to take it, something caught his eye. A silver ring, simple but elegant, with a tiny blue sapphire glinting in the sunlight. His breath hitched. The world seemed to stop. That ring. He knew it. It wasn't just jewelry. It was a memory. He stared at it, heart pounding. "Where did you get that ring?" he asked, voice trembling. The woman's eyes hardened. "It was my mother's. Why?" But Thomas could barely hear her. In his mind flashed an image from 20 years ago, a little girl with bright eyes in an orphanage garden, a promise whispered beneath a tree, and that same silver ring sliding onto her small hand. "Maya?" he whispered. The woman froze. The name hung in the hot air like thunder waiting to break. Without answering, she pocketed the money, grabbed her tools, and walked to her truck. "If the car breaks down again," she said coldly, "my shop's 10 miles ahead. First turn after the Aurora City sign." The engine of her pickup roared to life, leaving Thomas standing in stunned silence on the empty road. That night, Maya worked restlessly in her small garage, Hope Mechanical, sparks flying, metal clanging. Her uncle, Xavier, watched her with quiet concern. "He showed up?" he asked. Maya nodded, jaw tight. "Of all people. Thomas Weber." "The same boy who promised to come back for you?" "The same," she said bitterly. "He didn't recognize me. Just the ring." The next morning, a sedan stopped outside her shop. Thomas stepped out. No suit, no arrogance, just confusion and guilt. "I came to return this," he said, holding out a small carved wooden brooch, a bird with open wings. Maya froze. It was hers, her first carving as a child. "Where did you—" "You gave it to me," Thomas interrupted softly. "At the orphanage, before I left. You promised you'd never forget me." Her voice broke slightly. "And you promised you'd come back." "I tried," he whispered, eyes filled with remorse. "But my father had other plans." Over the next few days, the past began to unravel. Thomas dug through company archives and discovered something unthinkable. His father, Ernesto Weber, had forged documents, stolen land, and destroyed Maya's family to build the Weber empire. Worse still, among the files was a forged death certificate, Maya's mother's. "She didn't die," Thomas muttered in horror. "He faked it, to steal everything." Maya, meanwhile, had the same documents hidden in her workshop, proof of everything Ernesto had done. When they finally met again, it wasn't as friends or strangers, but as two people bound by the same wound. "My mother didn't abandon me," Maya said, showing him the papers. "She was forced to disappear. Your father took our land, our home, everything." Thomas clenched his fists. "Then we end this. Together." That night, at the grand opening of the Weber corporate complex, built on the very land stolen from Maya's family, cameras flashed, investors applauded, and Ernesto Weber smiled for the press. Until Maya stepped onto the stage beside Thomas. "This land," she said into the microphone, "once belonged to my family, the Oliveras, stolen through lies, forged deaths, and silence." The crowd erupted. Ernesto turned pale, barking for security. But it was too late. Police sirens wailed outside. Thomas held up a recording on his phone, his father confessing. And then, from the back of the hall, an older woman stepped forward, trembling, eyes full of tears. "Maya," she whispered. It was Amelia, her mother, alive. The reunion was silent, sacred. Decades of pain collapsing into one embrace. Ernesto's empire crumbled overnight. The truth spread faster than the lies ever could. Months later, Hope Mechanical had a new sign. The Oliveira Foundation for Children. Maya repaired cars while Thomas handled paperwork, finally free from the name Weber. Amelia brought lemonade, smiling. "The ring kept us connected," she said softly, "even when we didn't know it." Thomas nodded. Sometimes the smallest things hold the biggest truths. The camera zooms in on Maya's hand, the silver ring glimmering in the sunlight, as the narrator's voice fades. Empires built on lies crumble, but the truth always finds its way home. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because some stories remind us that love, truth, and justice never really die. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because some stories remind us that love, truth, and justice never really die.